Hi, I'm James Smead, the Education House Chair for the Wisconsin Association of Home Inspectors. The Wisconsin Association of Home Inspectors puts on a seminar twice a year throughout the state of Wisconsin, providing hands-on training for continuing education credits. And today we're here with Kurt Sones, a longtime affiliate. Kurt?
Thank you. Jeff Schmininger is helping me as well. He's with Wisconsin Chimney Technicians, and Eric is also part owner of my business as well. We're going to do a couple different demonstrations for you here.
You know, people will put the wrong thing in their fireplace. You know, Christmas tree branches, cardboard, and petroleum products. You know, over the years, I've found everything from old paper oil can covers, chicken bones, and that if it can be in the house. A lot of people like to burn their bills, you know, so nobody gets their information. Rather than shred it, they'll throw it in the fireplace. And Christmas makes us a lot of money, and that because people will take the Christmas wrap and throw it in the fireplace, and the dye in the inks, you know, can generate a lot of heat and again overexpand the flue as well.
Now you'll know when the chimney fire one goes or getting good here. This one shouldn't let us down. At least I hope not. If it does, I'm gonna have some mad people. Is it going still or no? Yeah. It'll start to make more noise. I'll try to get out of your way too when you never know where the cracks are gonna develop. There it's going.
You know, and what it's doing is it's taking the paper from below, and because of the large volume of air that's going through there, you know, it's, you know, drawing that paper up through the system. I used to fight fires on a volunteer basis, and it wouldn't be uncommon to come up to a house and find just that going on.
I think it's going to collapse. That bottom one is.
So if people maintain the chimney, you know, keep the thing clean, you're not going to run if you end up with a crack, it's not going to be anywhere near as severe as this. You know, you might have thermal shock, and that may be one tile, two tiles in the entire
We're gonna see if these things contract when they come back.
Usually with a chimney fire, where you actually have fire within the flue, you're going to end up with multiple cracks through the same tile. And
that thing's, this one's huge.
Usually, you know, the pretty severe cracking.
Look at that.
Yeah, it might collapse. I'm hoping the tiles are going to, shrink back. I don't know. But this fire at the bottom is going pretty good. I don't know that there's time for it to shrink, so. I'm trying to get some advertising for the three that gave me their cards. Fire at the bottom's a little too strong. Oh, this one's already gripped. This one I can't pull out that easy. It's already tight. Oh, look at the whole tile came with it.
You end up in the situation where
this one's tight.
If these tiles shrinks back up.
This one not so much. We'll try this again in the next one. Want to see it again?
If you had a 8 by 12 feet the choice.
Come on, come on.
Not all that much. You know, most of your metal, like this metal.
What you want to hear is you hear how it sounds when you put he puts the other tile on, it's kind of like, whoo, you can hear it just drawn.
You know, the thing that we find a lot is
It seems to be, it's going
if you
already. Holy
have
cow.
an oil furnace, you know, oil gives off sulfur as a byproduct of burning.
Watch out, Jeff.
And you end up with sulfuric acid if the chimney isn't covered and the rainwater comes down there, you know, and that'll end up hitting the clay tile.
Oh! Chimney fire, they call it the free-flowing chimney fire. It's supposed to travel up the chimney, meaning like an open fireplace, not a closed damper, at a rate of like 27 inches per minute. That's why this goes relatively. That's why it goes relatively quick. Let's try setting this one up here. Okay, we got one left. This is just stainless steel pipe.
What we're going to be demonstrating here is the difference between the stainless steel being round and the clay tile. And that this may end up shooting flames even higher into the air. And that we're going to find that this will expand a little bit, but we shouldn't find that this thing falls apart. And that stainless steel being that it's round, and that it would be insulated in a house, and that any wood burning system has to be insulated with stainless steel, you know, as far as a liner goes. And that, but with a round flue, you get better draft to begin with. And we shouldn't find this thing falling apart. You hear that roar? That most people that have a chimney fire, that's the first thing that they're going to notice is the roar. And what that generally is caused by is you get an enormous amount of air rushing through the damper. It's like driving an old car with a wing window where you've got the wing window open.
If you ever come across a chimney or a cap that's changed colors from stainless to purple or red, you know it's had a fire.
You probably noticed too the material that's down at the base. You know, when this super heats up, it can reliquefy and end up running down to the bottom.
See that? Oozes all over the place.
And in all likelihood, if you guys hadn't thought far enough in advance to have the fire department here, they would have come anyways with all the smoke coming out of there. But this has been burning about the same length of time as what the tile had burned. And even though the thing is sacrificing its integrity, you can see that the thing is changing color, so you wouldn't want to recommend that anybody continue to use that fireplace. And that if there's a metal system that has the discoloration, it's recommended that the system be replaced.
If you come across a cap, a chimney cap ever, and it's got the orangish, purplish, rusty color on it, you know it got overheated.
The flames are just up to the coupler.
So right now it's working its way out.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, normal chimney fires, they call them free-flowing, go at a rate of like 27 inches
you're
per
starting
minute.
to see the combustion at the top.
Slower fires, I mean, they can linger on forever.
Yeah. Finally caught all the.
And again, you notice the debris coming out of there. Now, when we get called by insurance companies to determine whether there was a chimney fire, that's one thing that we always look for. You know, if the fire department hadn't been called and the homeowners suppress the fire themselves. One dead giveaway that there has been a chimney fire is finding the debris in the yard or on the roof. And that the discoloration, like Kurt said, if the cap has that bluish tint to it, you know that the thing was superheated. And you know, it's not going to get superheated at the top unless something was really going on the inside.
So do they still put out the fires with salt or?
You know, there's a couple of different things that get done. There's a device looks like a road flare, but it gives off a chemical that creates a barrier between the fire and its source of oxygen, and that'll choke the fire out. And normally that's the chosen way of doing it. And that some fire departments will fill plastic bags with dry chemical and they'll throw it down there. The problem you run into, that if you're at the top of the chimney and there's a chimney fire going and curiosity gets to you and you want to look over the top, and that you could die in seconds. They tell you don't do that, and that you burn the lungs out.
Occasionally we'll see solid metal fluid, not corrugated, and you'll see scorching above the roof line. What causes that?
A lot of times what ends up happening is you end up with condensation of creosote at the very top of the chimney because you have, you know, warm inside conditions, cold outside conditions. So it's kind of like having the mirror in the bathroom when you're showering. That colder surface, you get that warm, moist exhaust condensing on it. And it'll condense up in that top foot or so. And then, you know, if it's discolored, it probably ended up with some material being drawn up the chimney and igniting and burning that top section. But if all it did is burn the top section, and that, you know, if you're seeing the scorching at the very top, then the fuel load was up at the top and it didn't have time to really burn through the entire system. And it just burned off the top, and I don't know if I'd get overly worked up by that.
It's not that big of an issue, but it's something we should still point out.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to do that. You know, I wouldn't recommend to a homeowner that they replace the entire system because of that. You know, if it's a foot and a half, and that even 2 feet, and that, you know, the other thing you want to look at is, you know, is there a lot of debris in the cap? You know, there's two types of screening that goes on chimney caps. One is what's referred to as a California mesh. California is the only state in the country that requires a cap on a chimney. Now, because you can get a grass fire that does millions of dollars worth of damage because of sparks coming out of a chimney. So they have a code requirement that you have a cap on the chimney and no more than a 1/4 inch opening in the mesh. If you put a California cap onto a chimney in this environment, with it being as cold as it is here, and that February, January, it's not uncommon for us to get calls to have to clean that thing off. People will call up and say, you know, my wood stove was working great yesterday. Today I can't get a draft and the thing is back puffing when I open up. And invariably it's the mesh that's plugged up. And once the mesh gets open, everything is working free and clear.
And never use water.
No.
We got 2-3 minutes. Any other questions? I know you guys got a busy day today. Ask Jeff, Eric, myself, otherwise.
Well, we hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, hey, I'll take it. You guys have a good day.